The day I hit rock bottom and bounced back. Have you ever felt like your entire world was falling apart? Like the weight of the universe was pressing down on your shoulders, and no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't catch your breath? If you've ever hit rock bottom, you're not alone. In fact, nearly 45% of adults over 40 report feeling completely overwhelmed at least once in their lives. Whether it's losing a job, facing a health scare, or burning out after years of giving too much, we all have moments when it feels like we've reached the end of the rope. But here's the good news. Hitting rock bottom doesn't mean the end. Sometimes, it's the start of a powerful transformation. Today, I'm going to share my story of how I hit rock bottom and bounced back stronger, more resilient, and more balanced than ever before. Along the way, I'll share practical strategies that helped me turn my life around, strategies that can help you too. So, if you're ready to reclaim your life, let's dive in. It all started on a Tuesday. I remember it vividly because Tuesdays were always my busiest days. Meetings back to back, emails piling up, family obligations, and, oh, the deadlines. I was juggling so much that I didn't even notice the cracks forming beneath my feet. But then, everything came crashing down. That morning, I got a call from my manager. "We need to talk," they said. My heart sank. After nearly 20 years at the same company, I was being let go. As if that wasn't enough, later that evening, I got a call from my doctor. The results of a routine checkup showed elevated blood pressure, high cholesterol, and signs of chronic stress. I felt like I was drowning. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, I sat in the dark, staring at the walls. Tears streamed down my face as I whispered to myself, how did it get to this point? I was exhausted, defeated, and completely lost. But then, something shifted. I remembered a quote I once heard. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew one thing. I couldn't stay in that place. I had to climb out, one small step at a time. The first thing I did was reach out. For years, I'd tried to be the superhero, the person who could do it all. But now, I realized that asking for help wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of strength. I called a trusted friend and shared my struggles. Just talking to someone lifted a weight off my shoulders. I reached out to a therapist. Studies show that therapy can improve mental health by as much as 60% in just a few months. For me, it became a lifeline. Pro tip: if you're over 40, don't hesitate to lean on your support network. Whether it's family, friends, or professionals, asking for help can be the first step toward healing. Next, I realized I had to start taking care of myself. For too long, I'd been running on empty. It was time to refill the tank. I began with small changes, drinking more water, taking short walks, and practicing deep breathing. Did you know that diaphragmatic breathing can lower cortisol levels by up to 25%? I also started journaling. Every night, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. At first, it felt silly, but over time, it shifted my mindset. Pro tip: start with just 10 minutes of self-care a day. Over time, those 10 minutes can grow into a habit that transforms your life. One of the hardest but most rewarding steps was learning to say no. I realized that my constant need to please others had drained me. So I started setting boundaries. I turned off work emails after 6 p.m. I said no to events and obligations that didn't align with my priorities. I made time for myself without guilt. Pro tip: if you struggle with boundaries, start small. Practice saying no to one thing this week and see how it feels. Finally, I began to redefine what success meant to me. Losing my job forced me to ask, what do I truly want from life? I explored hobbies I'd forgotten, like painting and gardening. Did you know that spending time in nature can reduce stress by 30%? I volunteered at a local community center. Giving back gave me a sense of purpose I hadn't felt in years. Pro tip: after 40, it's normal to feel like you're starting over. Embrace it as an opportunity to rediscover your passions. Looking back, I realized that hitting rock bottom wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of a new chapter. It taught me resilience, the importance of asking for help, and the power of self-care. If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, remember, you have the strength to climb out. Start small, lean on your support system, and take it one step at a time. You're not alone, and you're capable of incredible transformation. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.